Chosen one, stop everything right now. Put down whatever you are holding. Close every other tab. Silence every distraction. Because what heaven is about to reveal to you in the next few minutes was never meant for everyone. This message is only for the one who cried alone last night and told no one. The one whose own friends turned their backs without warning. The one who has been carrying a weight so heavy that some days you wondered if God even remembers your name. You did not find this by accident. This was not the algorithm. This was a divine appointment scheduled before you took your first breath. Heaven looked at this exact moment in your life. The isolation, the confusion, the silence that feels like punishment, and said now they are ready. Now they can finally hear what I have been waiting to tell them. So if your spirit is already stirring, if something inside you just shifted, stay. Do not leave. Because God is about to explain everything you have been through, and why it all had to happen exactly the way it did. Chosen one, before heaven reveals what is coming, you need to hear this first. You are not crazy. You are not oversensitive. You are not imagining things. I know there have been moments where you questioned your own mind, where you felt something was deeply wrong in a room, in a relationship, in a group you once trusted. But when you tried to explain it, people looked at you like you were the problem. They made you feel like the hostility was in your head, like the coldness was your imagination, like the betrayal never happened and you were just being dramatic. But I need you to hear this from the mouth of heaven itself. You did not imagine the shift. You did not create the tension. You were not too much. The truth is, your spirit was discerning what your eyes could not yet see. You felt the danger before it fully revealed itself. That is not weakness. That is a gift. That is the mark of someone who carries spiritual sensitivity that most people will never understand. And that is exactly why they called you crazy, because your awareness made them uncomfortable. Your presence exposed what they were trying to hide. Your light irritated something in them that they could not name. So, instead of looking at themselves, they pointed at you. They ganged up. They whispered. They made the atmosphere so toxic that you would choose to remove yourself. And you thought it was rejection. You thought something was wrong with you. But heaven is saying it was not rejection. It was protection. God was pulling you out of an environment that was never built to hold what he placed inside you. Now let me speak to the isolation you have been feeling. I know it has been heavy. I know there are nights where the silence in your life felt louder than any storm, where you sat alone and wondered why everyone else seems to have people around them, while you have been walking this road with no one by your side. Some of you have not had a real friend in years. Some of you lost your entire circle in one season. Some of you have been alone so long that you have started to believe this is all there will ever be. But what if I told you that this isolation was never punishment? What if the very thing that felt like abandonment was actually God setting you apart for something so significant that it required separation? The mystics called this the dark night of the soul, a season where everything familiar collapses so that something truer, something deeper, something eternal can be born inside you. It is not comfortable, it is not pretty, but it is sacred, and you are right in the middle of it, not because God forgot you, but because he is doing something in you that cannot happen in a crowd. He is building your character in silence. He is sharpening your discernment in solitude. He is preparing you to carry a weight of glory that would crush you if he gave it to you before this process was complete. Chosen one, let me take you back thousands of years to a young man named Joseph. He was not powerful. He was not wealthy. He was just a boy with a dream that God had placed inside his heart. And that dream was so big, so vivid, so specific, that when he shared it with his own family, they did not celebrate. They did not encourage him. They hated him for it. His own brothers, the people who shared his blood, looked at the calling on his life and decided it had to be destroyed. So they threw him into a pit. They stripped him of his coat. They sold him as a slave to strangers heading to a foreign land. And just like that, the boy with the dream was now a slave in Egypt. No family, no friends, no one who knew his name. But it did not stop there. Joseph served faithfully in the house of Potiphar, and just when things seemed to be turning around, he was falsely accused and thrown into prison. Not for something he did, for something he refused to do. He chose integrity and was punished for it. He chose righteousness, and the reward was chains. And then came the silence. Years of silence. No angel appeared to explain the plan. No voice from heaven said, "Hold on, it is almost over." Just silence. Cold walls. Forgotten promises. And I wonder if Joseph ever sat in that cell and asked God the same question you have been asking. Why? Why did you give me a dream and then let my life fall apart? Why did you show me something beautiful and then let everything around me turn to ashes? Why is the delay so long and the pain so deep and the silence so loud? If that sounds familiar, it is because you are living your own version of Joseph right now. Maybe your pit was a divorce you did not see coming. Maybe your prison was a job that crushed your spirit. Maybe your Egypt was a season of loneliness so deep that you forgot what connection even feels like. Maybe your brothers were the people in your church, your workplace, your own family who turned on you the moment your calling started to become visible. But here is what heaven needs you to understand. Joseph did not become the leader Egypt needed while he was still the boy with the dream. The pit did not destroy him, it developed him. The prison did not waste his years, it refined his character. The silence did not mean God was absent. It meant God was working behind the scenes on a scale Joseph could not yet comprehend. And when the time was right, not early, not late, but exactly on schedule, God moved. In one day, Joseph went from prisoner to prime minister. In one moment, everything shifted. The dream that was buried for over a decade suddenly stood alive in front of him. And every closed door, every betrayal, every tear, every sleepless night suddenly made sense. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. It says, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Not in your time, not in their time, in His time. And His time is never random. It is surgical. It is precise. It is purposeful. So when you look at your life right now and all you see is delay, heaven is asking you to look again. The delay was never denial. The waiting was never wasted. The silence was never abandonment. It was preparation. Every single day you spent wondering when your moment would come. God was building something inside you that could not be rushed. And just like Joseph, your shift will not come gradually. It will come suddenly. One day, one door, one divine appointment that rearranges everything. And you will look back and say, "Now I understand why it took so long." Chosen one, I need to address something that has been sitting heavy on your heart, the silence of God. There have been seasons in your life where you prayed and heard nothing, where you cried out in the middle of the night and the ceiling felt like concrete, where you opened your Bible, went to your knees, poured out your soul, and the only thing that came back was quiet. And in that quiet, a thought crept in. Maybe He does not hear me. Maybe He moved on. Maybe I did something wrong and this silence is His way of telling me I am no longer worthy of His voice. But I need to break that lie right now. The silence of God is not the absence of God. Heaven has not gone quiet because you have been forgotten. Heaven has gone quiet because you are in the incubation phase. And incubation requires stillness. Think about what happens before something powerful is born. There is always a period of hiddenness. A seed does not grow in the spotlight. It grows underground where no one can see it. A child does not form in the open. It forms in the darkness of the womb where only God has access. And right now, that is exactly where you are. You are in the womb of your next season. You are in the soil of your transformation. And the reason it feels dark is not because something went wrong. It is because something is growing. Science confirms what the Spirit already knows. Researchers Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun spent decades studying what they call post-traumatic growth. They found that people who endure the deepest pain often experience the greatest transformation, not just recovery, not just bouncing back to who they were before, but becoming someone entirely new, someone with deeper appreciation for life, stronger relationships, a clearer sense of purpose, a spiritual awareness that did not exist before the storm. 5 areas of change, 5 dimensions of growth, and every single one of them requires suffering as the catalyst. You cannot grow into who God needs you to be from a place of comfort. Comfort does not produce character. Pressure does. Silence does. Waiting does. That is why God has not rushed this season for you. He is not being slow. He is being precise. He is developing things inside you that cannot be microwaved. Patience that only comes from waiting when you do not understand. Faith that only strengthens when you cannot see the next step. Discernment that only sharpens when the noise of the world goes quiet, and all you have left is his still small voice. I know you are tired. I know the waiting has been long. I know there are moments where you almost gave up, where the exhaustion in your spirit made you wonder if the promise was even real. But heaven is saying the very fact that you are still here, still believing, still holding on despite everything that tried to break you, is the proof that what God placed inside you is unshakable. The silence was never a sign that he left. It was a sign that he trusts you enough to endure the process. And the process is almost complete. What was planted in the dark is about to break through the surface. What was hidden is about to be revealed. What was silent is about to speak louder than anything you have ever heard. Chosen one, there is something you need to understand about the attacks you have been through. The betrayal was not random. The rejection was not accidental. The people who turned on you did not do it because you were weak. They did it because something inside them recognized the calling on your life before you even fully understood it yourself. Let me say that again. The enemy does not waste ammunition on people who are not a threat. If your life had no purpose, no weight, no divine assignment attached to it, nobody would have bothered trying to break you. But they did. They came for your peace. They came for your confidence. They came for your reputation. They tried to make you question everything you knew about yourself. And that level of strategic attack does not happen to ordinary people. It happens to those who carry something extraordinary. Think about it. Why did they gang up? Why was it not just one person but a coordinated effort? Why did it feel like the atmosphere shifted overnight, like people who once smiled at you suddenly could not stand your presence? It is because your light was exposing their darkness without you even trying. You did not have to say a word. Your character, your integrity, your quiet strength was enough to make them uncomfortable, and instead of examining themselves, they chose to remove you. They made the environment so hostile that you would walk away and think it was your fault. But it was not your fault. It was your assignment. Every person God has ever used went through a season where the very people closest to them became the source of their deepest pain. David was hunted by the king he served faithfully. Moses was rejected by the people he was sent to deliver. Jesus was betrayed with a kiss from someone who ate at his table. The pattern is consistent. Before elevation, there is opposition. Before breakthrough, there is resistance. Before your calling becomes visible to the world, the enemy will try to bury it in confusion, isolation, and self-doubt. But here is what he did not count on. You survived. Everything that was designed to destroy you became the very thing that strengthened you. The pit became your training ground. The betrayal taught you discernment. The loneliness gave you a depth of character that most people spend their entire lives without ever developing. You are not damaged. You are battle-tested. You are not broken. You are forged. And heaven is saying the season of attack is ending. Not because the enemy gave up, but because you passed the test. And now there is nothing left standing between you and what God prepared for you on the other side. Chosen one, listen very carefully to what heaven is declaring over your life right now. Your old season is over. The warfare you have been feeling in your spirit, the heaviness on your chest, the restless nights, the unexplainable exhaustion that no amount of sleep could fix, that was not a sign of defeat. That was the final resistance before your breakthrough. Every battle has a last round. Every storm has a final wave. And what you have been enduring these past weeks and months was the enemy throwing everything he had left because he knew what was on the other side of your endurance. He knew that if you survived this last stretch, he would lose access to you forever. And you survived. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still believing. And that means the shift has already begun. Heaven is saying your spiritual promotion has been activated. Not tomorrow, not next year. Now, right now, in this very moment, something is being rearranged in the spiritual realm on your behalf. The doors that were sealed shut are being unlocked. The relationships that drained you are being replaced. The confusion that clouded your mind is being lifted. And a new clarity is settling into your spirit that will change the way you see everything. This is not motivation. This is not positive thinking. This is revelation. There is a difference between someone trying to make you feel better and God telling you what is already done in the heavenly places. And what God has done cannot be undone by any person, any circumstance, or any force on this earth. You are stepping into alignment. That word you have been hearing in your spirit, alignment, it is not a coincidence. It means every scattered piece of your life is about to come together in a way that only God can orchestrate. The purpose you have been searching for is about to become unmistakably clear. The gifts you buried because nobody around you valued them are about to be activated in ways that will surprise even you. The position God prepared for you, the one that no human hand can give and no human hand can take away, is being revealed to you now. I know it has been hard to believe that good things are coming when all you have known is hardship. I know your faith has been stretched to its limit. I know there were moments where hope felt like a luxury you could not afford. But this is the moment everything turns. This is your Jordan River crossing. This is your Red Sea parting. The wilderness behind you was real. The suffering was real. But so is what is standing on the other side. And it is more than you ever dared to ask for. Chosen one, now that heaven has explained your past, it is time to show you what is ahead. And I need you to receive this not as wishful thinking, but as a prophetic declaration over your life. Your clarity is coming. The fog that has surrounded your mind for months, the inability to make decisions, the confusion about which direction to go, it is lifting. God is downloading divine instructions into your spirit right now. And in the days ahead, you will begin to see your path with a sharpness you have not felt in years. You will know what to say yes to and what to walk away from. You will know who belongs in your life and who was only there for a season. Your peace is coming, not the kind the world gives, temporary and fragile, but the kind that guards your heart in the middle of chaos, the kind that lets you sleep soundly even when circumstances have not fully changed yet, the kind where you wake up and for the first time in a long time you feel genuinely calm, not anxious, not bracing for the next disaster, just still, just settled, just anchored in something deeper than your situation. Your divine connections are coming. The people who drained you, who used you, who took your kindness and returned it with betrayal, they are being removed. And in their place, God is sending destiny partners, people who recognize your worth without you having to prove it, people who protect your peace instead of disturbing it, people who carry the same fire and understand the weight of the calling without you having to explain yourself. Your purpose is becoming clear. That feeling you have carried your entire life, the sense that you were made for something more, that ordinary was never meant for you. It was not arrogance, it was discernment. It was your spirit recognizing what your mind could not yet articulate. And now the assignment is being revealed, not all at once, but step by step, door by door, obedience by obedience. Your favor is about to go public. The years you spent hidden, overlooked, underestimated, those years were not wasted. They were the foundation. And what is built on a foundation that deep does not crumble when the spotlight comes. You will not be shaken by what is ahead because of what you survived behind you. Heaven is saying, I did not bring you this far to leave you. I did not carry you through the fire to abandon you at the edge of your promise. Everything I said I would do, I will do. And it starts now. Chosen one, now that you know what is coming, heaven needs to give you a warning, because the enemy has been listening too. He heard every promise God just spoke over your life, and he is already preparing counterfeits designed to look exactly like your blessing but lead you straight into destruction. Not every open door is divine. Some doors are traps dressed in answered prayers. They will look familiar. They will feel comfortable. They will carry the language of blessing and opportunity and new beginnings. But behind them is a snare, carefully arranged to pull you off course right before your real breakthrough arrives. This is why discernment is not optional in this season. It is survival. The person who shows up and says everything you have been longing to hear, pause before you let them in. The opportunity that appears suddenly and seems too perfect, pause before you commit. The invitation that flatters your ego and promises quick results, pause before you accept. Not because good things are not coming. They are, but because the enemy specializes in timing his counterfeits to arrive just before God delivers the real thing. He wants you to settle for the imitation so you miss the original. He wants you to exhaust your energy on the wrong door so you have nothing left when the right one opens. So how do you tell the difference? Here is what heaven is teaching you right now. The real door will require faith, but it will also bring peace. It will stretch you, but it will not violate your spirit. Confusion is never from God. Pressure to decide immediately is never from God. A blessing that demands you abandon your discernment to receive it is not a blessing at all. Develop the rhythm of pause, pray, and confirm. Before every major decision in this new season, stop. Take it to God in prayer. Wait for the peace that surpasses understanding to settle in your spirit before you move. Obedience will always unlock what effort alone never could. And sometimes the most powerful act of faith is not running through a door. It is standing still long enough to let God confirm whether that door belongs to you. Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6 say, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." He will direct, not you, not your emotions, not your desperation. Him. Let him lead. The one who brought you through the wilderness knows the way to the promised land. You do not have to figure it out. You just have to follow. Chosen one, if you have made it this far, that is not by coincidence. That is confirmation. Your spirit was meant to hear every single word spoken in this message. And right now, I want you to check what is happening inside you. If there is a warmth spreading through your chest, if your eyes are burning with tears, you did not plan to cry. If something deep in your soul is vibrating with a truth you always sensed but could never put into words, that is your confirmation. That is heaven placing its seal on everything that was declared over your life today. You were never forgotten. You were never rejected. You were never abandoned. You were being positioned. Every tear had purpose. Every lonely night had meaning. Every closed door was protection. And now, the one who walked through the fire and refused to let go of faith is stepping into the fullness of what was written for them before time began. This is your moment. Not yesterday, not someday, now. So, I want you to do something right now. Go to the comments and declare it. Write the words, "I am ready for what God is revealing." Speak it out loud if you have to, because there is power in declaration. There is power in agreement. And when a chosen one opens their mouth and aligns their words with what heaven has already spoken, things begin to move in the spiritual realm that no force on earth can stop. If this message touched your spirit, if you felt God speaking directly to you through these words, hit like so this reaches another chosen one who is sitting alone right now wondering if anyone sees them. Subscribe if you have not already, because heaven is not finished speaking to you. This was not the full message. This was only the beginning. God has more to reveal, more to restore, more to unfold in your life. And I will be here to deliver every word he gives me for you. Stay chosen. Stay faithful. Stay ready. The best of your life is not behind you. It is standing right in front of you, and it is closer than you think.